They walk among us, not aliens. Absolute. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna try. Not. I've been told about my swearing on YouTube, and it's naughty. So we shouldn't. I'm trying. I'm trying not to swear. My wife says I swear too much. She's right as always. So, woosah, woosah. Right. Okay. Basically, yeah, you're gonna deal with idiots on a pretty much weekly basis, or certainly daily basis. Try not to let the this drive you down. Anyway, so 2 weeks ago we sent a guy to a property. For those of you who've met Adam, you will know that he is a studious, very diligent young man who is going to be our manager when we take on another member of staff, whenever that will be. So long story short, I say long story short, I'm probably going to wax lyrical for the next 10 minutes, so pin your ears back. We sent Adam to do window cleaning at a house, which is not surprising given that we are window cleaners. Fancy that. So he's gone to the house, he's done the front windows, happy with that, done the side windows as best he can, but obviously this lady's having work done at the property. She, whether she's having a kitchen done, I don't know, but bottom line is the back of the house looked like something out of Full Metal Jacket. It was an absolute war zone in the back of the garden. So in line with our terms and conditions, as previously mentioned on numerous videos that we've done, we've simply said, right, if the access is left locked or blocked, we will clean the windows that we can do safely, but we will charge the full price to cover our costs. Now, this is a conversation that we have had with literally every single customer. And in written form, I save my terms and conditions into the notes on my phone. And every time I give a quote, I always send that first message. I always send my terms and conditions first. There's no fine print, there's no small print, there's no me trying to sort of pull one over on the customer. This is us saying how much it's going to be, when we're going to be there, what you can expect from us, what we expect from you. Happy days. So, back garden's a war zone. Adam very diligently sort of said to us, gave me a quick ring, and he says, Chris, back garden is an absolute tip. I can't get through into the back safely, so here are some images. Now, understand this, I am not going to post the images on here for one very simple reason, that the pictures were taken at the back of the house, okay, so on that person's private property. But those photographs were taken purely as evidence, as proof that Adam hadn't just tipped up to the property and said, to himself, I don't fancy doing the back today. I'm going to make up a story. As has happened with previous people that have worked for us. So I always say to my guys now, and this will kibosh any argument that comes along 90% of the time. There's always one person, and this lady is one of them, that will argue the toss. So anyway, what's happened is that, if we encounter a locked gate, if we encounter debris in the garden, if we encounter pet mess that hasn't been tidied up, if we encounter, insert unlikely scenario in here, for whatever reason, if we can't access them back windows, then I ask the lads to take a picture on WhatsApp. I asked them to write in the description below which address that picture belongs to, okay, and then send it to me. And that does a couple of things. One, it proves that the lads are being honest with me. It tells me the time that picture was taken. It gives me the address of that was taken, and it gives me something that I can show to the customer to say, look, this is what we were presented with, right? And usually we have no need for these pictures in the end. And normally about a month later, we delete them. We don't share them on social media. We're not there to try and browbeat anybody. We're not there to show anybody up. I'm not there to embarrass the customer into action. How you choose to live is a matter for you. I couldn't give a sugar frosted fairy. But you see, I'm trying to try not to swear. Rate me out of 10 for not swearing. Yeah, basically, like I say, it's not there to embarrass anybody into action. It's not there to belittle anybody. I'm not all about that. I don't care how you live. I just care about the money that comes as a result of the efforts that we exert, and that's it. I'm not there to judge you how you choose to live. It's a matter for you. So a couple of weeks goes by, lady's still not paid. It's an £18 window cleaning fee, so not a massive amount of money, but enough that ultimately, if I've sent someone to the house, that I want to collect on it. So Adam does his due diligence. So Adam sends reminders out for his the customers that he's done that have taken a little bit longer to pay. And as I mentioned before, Adam is like a manager for us as well, so he takes on additional responsibilities that not all the other lads do. So that is one of the things he will do. He will chase up debts that are over 7 days old and stuff like that. So we've got a little system going, and we're quite happy with it. It works for us. So on Squeegee, it gives you an itemized list of replies. There's correspondence between us and the customer. So Adam's obviously sent his notification out saying, quick reminder, your window cleaning fee from the last visit is due. These are the bank details. Please pay as soon as possible. Love and cuddles, estuary cleaning, that kind of stuff, right? So what's happened is, as a result then, the lady has gone chicken oriental. She has basically decided, actually, well, he didn't do the back of the property and... No. Adam has then very wisely sort of said to me, Chris, I'd be more comfortable you dealing with this customer, given that you have the photos, you have the evidence and stuff like that of what happened last time, hence why I've not done the back windows. I don't feel comfortable getting into a bun fight with this customer. Would you mind taking over? Happily. I love a good row. And so what's happened is I've decided, so I've messaged the customer, told her the script, told her that the back garden wasn't clear, and that's why we didn't do it, which is in line with our terms and conditions as previously mentioned. That, she's not very happy. She says she wants to come off the rota. Not a problem. Please settle your last invoice, which, by the way, was owed 2 weeks ago. So you've not been exactly a tip-top payer as it is. And you make your last payment, not a problem. We'll just remove you from the list. It's not a problem. At which point the lady goes chicken oriental again. Loves a good row, and I love a good row. Here's the thing: if you want to have a row with me, that's fine. You'll just lose because I'm better at it. So ultimately, what's happened is then it keeps whoever to and fro. The customers sort of, saying that other tradesmen managed to get through just fine and blah blah and all this sort of stuff. Now, my argument for this is what other trades do is a matter for them. If you choose to work in those conditions, then fair enough. I'm not here to judge you. I couldn't care less. If you trip over the debris that's there and break your ankle, I don't care. I'm not paid to care. I don't care what your contractors, the conditions they work in. It's not my circus. It's not my monkeys, and I could give a sugar frosted fairy. I don't care, right? But saying that other tradesmen get through just fine and that you can as well is almost the same as saying, well, other people rob houses for a living. I don't do that either. So the thing is our standards are such. You're talking to a guy who at one point had a nail go through his boot, and it punctured the bottom of my foot. Now, obviously, it didn't go straight through my foot. I mean, I'm not being dramatic or anything, but the bottom line is, I went onto a house not too dissimilar to this, in conditions just so, and I've had a nail go through my boot, and it's punctured the bottom of the ball of my foot. So, trust me, these things do happen. And here's the thing: if it happens to me, that's one thing. I'm not going to sue myself. But if it happens to an employee, and I've sent him onto a job site that's not safe, then ultimately I failed as an employer to keep my employees safe. I, as an employer, I'm not special. I am subject to the Health and Safety Act 1974, as all employers are, right? And it's my, I have a duty of care to make sure that the working conditions that they go into are as safe as possible. And if they're not, then obviously, you have to have systems in place to deal with it. Now, I'm sure no one in their reasonable right mind would expect me to sort of tidy that up for them, or Adam to tidy that up for the customer and then carry on. He would just turn around and say, look, it's not safe, it's not clear, I'm not doing it. Which is why we do what we do, which is why we send our T's and C's in advance, which is why the customer agrees to them in advance, which is why we act on them, which is why we have them. Everything, all things in its place, everything has a home sort of thing, you know what I mean? And that's how we operate. And so, yeah, basically, you've got to, at some point, you've got to put your foot down and let the customer know what you will put up with and what you won't put up with. And it is that. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, would I expect someone who, jet washes the back of my garden to, walk through dog shit to get there? Well, no, I wouldn't, so I'd make sure that area was tidy for them and all this sort of stuff. But if you don't care about your contractors, that's fine. If you don't care about the window cleaner, that's fine. Just don't cry your eyes out when they find a better customer than you and move on. That's it. So, but what I would say is, the point of this video ultimately is, if you're sending guys out to a job, I would 100% recommend that, if there's a lock gate, put your phone over the top of the gate, take a photo looking down, so that if the bolt's halfway down the gate and you can't reach it, don't climb. That's proof that it was locked. If there is dog shit everywhere, take a photograph. Prove that it was there. If there is debris in the garden and the garden looks like there's something out of the Battle of the Somme, then ultimately, yeah, you have the right to document that. Now, obviously, you don't have the right to share it on social media. You don't have the right to belittle or embarrass people. Well, you have that, you have the right, but ultimately, it's better to not be like that person. Don't be that guy that sort of, mocks people, because the thing is, you have the moral high ground at that point. You can say, well, look, end of the day, we asked you to make it clear. It wasn't clear. It is what it is, and if you pay your bill, fantastic. If you don't, well, see you later. So yeah, I just thought I'd drop that video in there. Hope everybody is doing well, having a good week, etc. I shall see you all in the next video. Take care. Keep on keeping on.